Welcome to our next webinar, a very interesting theme which we prepared for today, which is Health Academy, Increase HCP Engagement with Best-in-Class e-learning platform for pharma. Actually, both presenters are coming from ShowerThinking, and I'm really pleased to welcome at first place Joaquín País, who is the CEO and founder of ShowerThinking. Joaquín, how are you doing?
Good. Thank you, Dario. I'm honored to be here sharing this information with your Next Pharma Summit audience.
Always, Joaquín, always. And we also have a new face for ShowerThinking, for at least at our webinar, right, which is Michael Kane. Michael, how are you doing, and how's weather in Malaga?
Doing well, thank you. Weather is great here in Malaga, as always. Glad to be here.
Fantastic. So the stage is all yours, Joaquín. You prepared a very interesting presentation, so please, the stage is yours.
Thank you very much, Dario. As commented, I'm really thrilled, to be here with this audience about pharma. So let's start with the webinar. And first, let's review the agenda for today's webinar. So Health Academy is a ShowerThinking custom solution. We have been developing this platform over the last year. This is one of our first specific product for pharma. We have built it for pharma companies in mind in order to improve the relationship with healthcare professionals. So after the introduction, Michael will review the challenges of improving the relationship with healthcare professionals using an e-learning platform. Then, as you see in the agenda, we will review a broader topic about how to integrate a multi-channel campaign using Marketing Cloud together with this e-learning platform. And finally, we will be open to your questions at the end of the webinar. So please just write your questions here at the GoToWebinar chat in order that we can review later. And for those of you who don't know yet ShowerThinking, a very brief introduction. This webinar is part of our webinars in pharma series. We have been making this webinar for the last, I think, 2 or 3 years. ShowerThinking is a company specialized in Salesforce marketing in pharma. We are launching for different pharma clients more than 1,000 multi-channel journeys and campaigns in Europe and US and Canada. And we are really proud to be recognized as a leader in Salesforce marketing internationally. We have been, for example, the first Salesforce partner to implement a global Salesforce CDP solution for a pharma company. So after commenting that this presentation makes reference to common platforms used in the industry by providers and users, and obviously all logos and trademarks are the properties of their respective owners. So let's go to the nitty-gritty of the webinar with Michael. So Michael, the floor is yours.
Okay, so let me just, there we go. I will share my screen in just a moment. Okay, yes, I think you should be able to see my screen.
Yeah.
All right. So, as was mentioned, we want to share with you a use case for a solution and an opportunity that takes advantage of a Salesforce tool, a Salesforce cloud or product that goes hand in hand with other tools and products that many of our clients are already using. And in the case of pharma, it has the potential to fill some key needs. So how can we look at this particular opportunity and use case? Well, we want to introduce you to Zenetic Pharma. Do you know Zenetic Pharma? Maybe not, because it's a fictional and hypothetical pharma company. And we're going to follow Salesforce's lead here, as they do with their trailheads and other cases, in order to use this fictional company as an example to talk about this solution that we want to get into now. So Zenetic Pharma, it's not a new company, it's been around the block, but it's noticing a shift in how they feel they need to interact with the HCP. They've seen two key things they are noticing that they really want to do, they feel that they need to do. One of them is that they need to provide valuable information to field teams, so to their reps, to be able to give them behavioral data, affinity data that their reps can then take and use when they engage, when they interact with doctors, with HCPs. And on the other side, they've noticed that they need to provide HCPs with valuable content, practical, high-value content that also is easy to access. So as a result, they've been really making an effort to invest in optimizing digital communication channels, developing journeys, all based on this idea of practical training, for example, for HCPs. And what they're seeing is that the web is a key pillar in carrying all of this out and building a structure and building relationships with HCPs in that regard. But they're also seeing that there are many challenges in accomplishing that as well. So with this in mind, they've reached out to their consultant, which in this case will be ShowerThinking, and they're looking to ShowerThinking to get some help in integrating the web, integrating it and establishing the web as that key pillar in accomplishing those goals. And in this project that they're looking for, they have two key goals in mind. The first one, they want to develop an e-learning platform that's going to help them in improving their engagement and offering HCPs what they need, offering their Salesforce what they realize they need. So that e-learning platform they realize is going to strengthen their relationship with HCPs by providing high-value content, and it's also going to bring in some HCPs that up until now have been hard for them to reach. The other goal they have in mind is that they want to make sure they get the right technology in doing this, not one that just makes it difficult for them to continue on with their goals, but one that connects with their infrastructure. So Salesforce is recommending to them, or ShowerThinking is recommending to them, Salesforce Experience Cloud. They feel it's going to be ideal to match up with their infrastructure that they already have in place. It's going to allow for the development of websites, of platforms, portals. It's very open in that regard. No integration is going to be needed though, because it's a native CRM solution, and so it seamlessly connects CMS with CRM in that regard. So just to get kind of an introduction, if you're not super familiar with Experience Cloud and all that it offers, specifically when looking at it from the standpoint of an e-learning platform, what Zenetic and ShowerThinking are striving for here, just a few highlights. On the top left, you can see that it's going to allow them to build an intuitive e-learning platform, one that's even fun and gamified, while at the same time still pulling data from their CRM or sending data to their CRM. On the far right, you can see that it's going to allow them to track adoption in Veeva, to see what's going on with the HCP as it relates to their platform. They can also use the power of the CRM, as we see on the bottom right here, to personalize experiences. They can offer personalized recommendations right there on the platform for the HCP. And on the bottom left, we can see that they'll be integrating it with their marketing cloud journeys, their omni-channel strategy that they've already set up. We can see on the top right here, one final thing is that they'll have a dashboard, which is going to allow them to analyze all of the activity that's taking place on their site. And so there are a few specific points that they're going to be striving for as well that help us to review and see some of the benefits. First of all, key medical insights. That is just excellent content that they want to provide to HCPs that's going to draw them in and keep them coming back. And that will allow them to reach some of those harder to reach HCPs, be it non-visited HCPs on one side of the spectrum or key opinion leaders. That's their goal there when it comes to their content. They also want to be able to provide personalization, as we saw, recommendations that are going to encourage the HCPs to participate more and more in the platform, not just, okay, we came in, I got my my course that I wanted, and then I never come to the platform again, but those recommendations are going to draw them back, moving deeper and deeper into the platform. But also, as we saw, make it fun. So strategic engagement, have a vibrant, growing community by means of rewards and incentives through badges and points that for many will bring them back as well. But all of this then, for the fourth point, is going to lead to business value. So this business integration that as they interact with, as the HCPs interact with the platform, is going to give them strategic information, capturing that valuable affinity data, behavioral data that they can provide to their reps that they can go and use. So what would this look like? What does it end up looking like in the case of Zenetic Pharma's Health Academy? Well, we can take a look here. This is what their homepage would look like. So any HCP that comes here and is interested, maybe they found out about it, it's been recommended to them, they came across it, this is what they would see, whether they're registered or not. So you can see they're able to browse the content from here. They can really see what it has to offer. Down below, they're sold on some of the features. So it's updated training. It's not training from years and years ago, but it's kept up to date, which is valuable. They're able to access it when they want to, when it's convenient for them. They can get certifications, certified diplomas, and they're working with subject matter experts. So if they decide that that's something that they want, they really want to use some of these courses, well, then they can go up top to the CTA and register. They can sign up, provide a bit of information, and they're in. And so if we go on to the next slide here, we can see what they might see inside. And so they can see all of these courses. They get a short description. They get an idea of what that course might offer. And they can also filter, as we can see on the left side here, different categories are available to filter. So content, is it a course? Is it a webinar? Is it a downloadable resource that they can use in their work later on? Therapeutic areas, specialties, as well as finally the product. Is there a particular Zenetic product that they're interested in? They want to learn more about how it could be beneficial. Now, this gives us some insight into how some of that affinity data could be useful to the rep, to the marketing team, as these interests can then be used in all sorts of ways as we're learning about that HCP. We see what they tend to focus on, what they tend to use, what they interact with, what their interest is. You can see also they have an account side, so to speak, their profile, their configuration, their settings. So on the profile tab here, they have information about courses that how many they're participating in, how many they've completed. We've got that fun gamified side of things where it's they've got points, and they can see just a quick snippet of the courses that they have, how far along they are. So it motivates them to complete the courses. And then there's other tabs that lets them see a completed course. Maybe they want to go back to one. They remember a point from it, but they can't quite remember what it was. They've also got their favorited courses. So they have that option to favorite, even though at the moment they're not able to. They want to go and check it out later. Just going a tab down to the My Activity tab. Another option they have for their Health Academy. This is once again this fun gamified approach, which works for many. Maybe they have a certain specialty that they're interested in improving, a therapeutic area. so they can see how they're doing in that area. They can see the badges that they might be striving for. But on the bottom left here, we can also see that idea of recommendations. So based on this information that's being passed back and stored in the CRM, as we learn about them through their interactions, well, then the CRM is able to recommend certain courses or content to them specifically for that individual HCP. For example, as we have here, Michelle, these are the recommendations for her, and that would be different for each HCP, drawing them in, encouraging them to benefit from this information, but also in that way, Zenetic benefits from what this type of engagement. Here we can drill down a bit further into just one specific course page. So they're able to see the course, and if you look here at the course features, right, they're able to see when it was last updated, what its rating is, how long it's going to take them, how many lessons they're looking at, if they're interested in points, how many points they're going to get for it, the languages that it's available in, things that we would expect from different e-learning platforms, right? As well as further down, different tabs for specific information related to the course, its curriculum, as well as the certification they'd be getting. And if they want to look at reviews from other participants in the course to see if this really is what they're looking for. But once again, as they take this course, we go back to the categories that are going to be stored based on their participation in this course related to that particular HCP. So we're seeing that they have that affinity, that interest in that particular product if it's associated with that course, and we're seeing that they have an interest in a particular therapeutic area over time, and all of that is stored in the CRM in Salesforce. Digging just a bit deeper into the curriculum of the course, they're also able to track where they are. They're able to see, okay, I completed this one, I've got these quizzes still to do. They can see more or less how much they have to do and about how much time each section of the course is going to cost them, which is helpful to know when you're planning your day or when you're going to be taking a bit of that course. So that's what we have for, say, the front end, so to speak, of what the HCP would see in the e-learning platform. Now, when we look at the back end, so to speak, what the rep might be able to see, or the other side of it, here in Veeva, for example, here the rep of this HCP, Michelle, her rep is able to see all of this information. So say before he goes to visit her, he's able to, besides lots of other information he's able to see, he's also able to see this affinity data. He's able to see whether she's active in the platform or not, and then he can tailor his engagement with her before he speaks to her, before he sends her an approved email, or invites her to a particular event, or whatever he has in mind. He's able to take a look at this information, and it could offer some valuable data to him. On the other side of things, marketing, there's all sorts of possibilities when we start thinking about it, because there's the opportunity to create segmented audiences and use that then in journeys, so that perhaps a journey is being set up for everyone who is interested in webinars, and maybe not just webinars, but those, if we use the data that's coming from Experience Cloud, coming from the Academy, those who have a certain amount of points that have come from their participation in webinars. So certain HCPs would be included, others wouldn't. Maybe those that have demonstrated an interest in products, they have a certain level of interest in a particular product, when before that information might have been hard to obtain, or it was only coming from one source. Now we have another source that allows us to measure that information and interact with HCPs and provide them the content that they're truly interested in, and that they find valuable, not just through the platform, but through other channels when we engage with them. And so it's not only just, say, journeys related to products, to events that are taking place, but also directly the activities that are taking place in the e-learning platform. It can be connected to a journey to Marketing Cloud based on what the HCP is doing in the platform. For example, maybe an HCP signed up for a course some time ago, and we're checking back to see if the HCP has finished it. And so we have a decision split here that says, well, have 30 days passed? Has the HCP finished it? No. Okay, well then we can send them an email that says, hey, we invite you to finish that course. Or yes. Okay, so we send an email that says, congratulations, you completed your course. We just want to send you offer the opportunity to take a survey related to the course. Tell us what you thought about it, and then we get valuable information back from the HCP about the quality of that course. A few days later go by, and we send another email inviting the HCP back to the platform to take another course. But which course? We can personalize that recommendation based on what we've been learning by their interactions on the platform. And then maybe a few days later, we could also send a suggestion to that HCP's rep saying, we suggest that you interact with this HCP because we've detected a certain type of interest, maybe an interest in a product, and it would be worth your while to reach out to them to talk a bit more about that. So all sorts of possibilities when it comes to those connections that we have with these different channels and clouds that can all be seamlessly connected. One final area as well that the marketing team and other teams can take advantage of is that dashboard as well that can come from Experience Cloud. So you're able to see a typical data like users, sessions, average time on site, and you can filter that by certain time in the year, geographical filters, specialty, or even if you're interested in a particular HCP as well. So all sorts of possibilities in taking advantage of that data depending on what you're interested in. So let's just take a look at one particular use case and example that Zenetic Pharma, in their case, benefited from. So here's Zenetic Pharma. They've launched their e-learning platform, which they're calling Zenetic Cloud Academy via Experience Cloud. And so this doctor, Michelle, she signs up. She begins to participate in some courses, downloads some resources, attends a webinar, and as we mentioned, all of this information is being stored in Veeva. But it turns out that Michelle, she's a non-visited HCP. So when the marketing team is setting up a new campaign in Marketing Cloud, they're looking specifically at non-visited HCPs who are registered with the Academy. So this is excellent for them to take advantage of this new information and interact with her via the campaign as well with these different non-visited HCPs based on what they're learning about them as well. Then her rep, as we can see, Anand, he receives a suggestion to make a sales call to her because it's been noted that she's showing interest in a particular product. She's shown it via the Health Academy as well as her engagement with some of the emails in that journey. So he reaches out, he takes the hint, and he contacts her and he invites her to participate in an upcoming clinical trial for that product. And she happily accepts because she is in fact interested in that product that's validating all of that data that's been taken in. So just one example really of how useful this can be when it comes to very practical engagement with HCPs and offering beneficial data to the reps. That's where this Experience Cloud opportunity can help to strike that right balance, right? So the balance between what the HCP wants and needs. As we can see, they're looking for valuable content, practical content, so they can learn and receive updates on what they need, and they can get it as it's a self-served, right? They can get it when they want it, when is right for them. But at the same time, the rep is getting what they want and need. They're finding out about the HCP, getting that behavioral and affinity data so that they can engage with the HCP in the right way for the HCP as well, and build those strong relationships, productive relationships for both. And so this seamlessly integrated process, in the case of Zenetic Pharma here, it's allowing them to tap into the power of all of these solutions using what they already had, their existing technical framework, and then building on the marketing skills and abilities that they've already gained to take things to another level. So this is what we wanted to share with you related to Experience Cloud and this Health Academy opportunity. Now, I think we have some questions as well that Joaquín is going to share with us.
Thank you very much, Michael. That's awesome. Thank you for your presentation. And yes, that's correct. We have here some questions. So the first one is from our audience. What is needed to implement Health Academy? It's a very broad question.
Yeah, so if you have, say, Sales Cloud, Veeva, Health Cloud already, then all you need to do is just go and activate what's called digital experiences within there. And then it would be a matter of us deploying a package for Health Academy in that regard on your org.
Okay, the next question is what's the difference between Experience Cloud and using a CMS like WordPress or Drupal?
Yeah, good question. A comparison there, right? So going with Experience Cloud, it's gonna help to avoid many of the challenges that can come up when we have, say, data silos, disconnected data, right? Experience Cloud is, as we saw, it makes it really easy to connect all of that data to just natively have those pathways. It's also going to provide a unified experience to the customer by combining the power of the CRM with a CMS that we've been seeing now, and it allows also, as we saw, an immediate connection with Salesforce Marketing Cloud for customer journeys and easier use of that data for segmenting and other marketing purposes that you might have in mind in Salesforce Marketing Cloud.
Okay, excellent. Next question is, does it work with Google Analytics?
Yeah, it does, definitely. Not only would it work with Google Analytics, but other tools like Matomo, some BI panels. But it's good to keep in mind that you can achieve maybe an even more advanced level of analytics if you use the dashboard that comes with Experience Cloud, or take it to another level with Salesforce Data Cloud, or previously known as Salesforce CDP, offering endless possibilities in that regard and that continuous connection there.
Good. A more practical question is, how long will it take to implement this type of Health Academy solution?
Yeah, well, obviously it's going to depend on a number of factors, of course, but we're seeing that it can take around 3 months or so, depending on those factors.
Okay, good. One question is this solution consent compliant?
Yeah, so working with consents, right? So that's a great question, and the answer is yes. It would definitely work in line with the compliance that you've already established and are using, be it with Veeva, IQVIA, or Sales Clouds, whatever you have set up. That can definitely be made possible. Not only that, it can also be easily used to collect new consents or to renew them.
Now it's coming, I think, a very interesting question is, could this Health Academy be used to provide certificates and professional accreditations to HCPs?
Yeah. Going back to the offering that practical benefit to HCPs. Yeah, certainly. obviously that would depend on the type of courses and training that you decide to offer, and what type of certifications those courses would merit. But definitely a certification could be provided upon completion in whatever in various different ways.
Mhm. Okay, so I think that we are running out of time. Just a last question. I will encourage anyone, if they want to send us an email to myself or to Michael, we can provide also more responses. And the last one that I can check here is does this offer the possibility for modular content?
Yeah, absolutely. And that's a great one. As we saw, we have that connection with the CRM. So because of that connection, we have the possibility for personalization, and by means of that modular content. That's another great benefit of building an e-learning platform by means of Salesforce Experience Cloud, because you can do all sorts of things for that modular content, that personalization. You can create one-to-one content if that's what you want. You can create content based on particular attributes like specialty. So maybe you want neurologists to see one thing, but you want pain specialists to see other components. So yeah, definitely.
Thank you very much, Joaquín and Michael.
Okay, thank you very much. Bye.
Pleasure.
Bye.